The sun hasn't risen in 2 days. You are not in a coffee shop. You are not pulling an all-nighter for a midterm. You are on watch while something outside the wire is moving, and the only thing keeping your family alive is a set of eyelids that feel like lead curtains. The caffeine ran out when the generator died. The pills you were saving dissolved in a wet pocket. Now, it's just you, the dark, and a brain screaming for a chemical that isn't coming. You have 72 hours of consciousness to buy, and you will buy it with the raw, electric, zero-cost physiology that the coffee industry prays you never remember. Most people would crash and let the shadows win. You are going to hack your own hypothalamus until sunset finally comes. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for number 6. The one natural reflex buried in your skull that triggers an instant jolt of wakefulness without a single milligram of outside help. The systemic lie is that caffeine is fuel. It isn't. Caffeine doesn't give you energy. It borrows tomorrow's alertness and charges a brutal interest rate. Adrenal fatigue, dehydration, and a crushing noon crash. It temporarily blocks the adenosine receptors in your brain, the chemical that builds up the longer you are awake. But when the coffee runs out, that adenosine floodgate opens and drowns you. The body, however, has its own stimulants. Adrenaline, cortisol, orexin, dopamine. They don't come in a green and white pill. They come from specific, deliberate physical inputs you can control. The cold, movement, light, pain, and the biology of the survival brain itself. Number 1. The cold shock. Walk to the sink. If the plumbing is dead, find a puddle. Splash water on your face, the coldest water you can get. Then concentrate it on 3 specific points: the back of your neck, your temples, and the insides of your wrists. The mammalian dive reflex activates when cold water hits your face, specifically the trigeminal nerve. It instantly triggers a parasympathetic shift that shocks the system into a brief pause, then a rebound sympathetic spike. Your heart rate elevates, your blood vessels constrict. Cortisol surges. That whole body gasp you feel is the brain deciding that surviving the cold is more urgent than sleeping. It buys you 30 to 40 minutes of sharp, wired clarity. If you can soak a bandana in cold water and tie it around your neck, when the cold fades, your core temperature rises and sleep returns. The cold shock is the cheapest, oldest, most immediate wakefulness weapon in your body's arsenal. No pill can replicate the primitive gasp of an ice water slap at 3 in the morning. Number 2. The 2-minute movement rule. Your body was not designed to sit still for hours and stay alert. Sitting motionless signals the brain that it is resting time. The lymphatic system stalls. Blood pools in the legs. The brain gets less oxygen every 20 minutes. You must stand up, shake out your legs, and move. Not a jog, not a workout. 10 bodyweight squats. A set of push-ups off the ground. Even if you can only manage 5. Circle your arms. Roll your neck. The movement forces muscle pumps that push oxygenated blood back to the brain. It also triggers the release of orexin, a neuropeptide that regulates wakefulness directly. Most people try to fight sleep by clutching a rifle and staring at the same patch of darkness until their vision blurs. The blur is microsleep, the brain shutting down one neural cluster at a time. You will set an alarm in your head if no clock exists. Every 20 minutes, move. The 5 air squats you do in the dark are worth more than a cold cup of burnt instant coffee. Number 3. The light anchor. You don't need a tactical blue light therapy panel. Any light source works. A flashlight, a candle, the pale glow of a digital clock. Your pineal gland produces melatonin in darkness. Light hitting the retina signals the suprachiasmatic nucleus to halt production. But not all light is equal. A brief, bright, close-up flash of light does more than ambient glow. Every hour, take your flashlight, close your eyes, and press the lens directly against your eyelid for 3 seconds. The red glow penetrating your closed eye is a photon assault on the melanopsin receptors in your retina, the ones that regulate your sleep-wake cycle. It violently suppresses melatonin for another 40 minutes. Even better, if you can step outside into moonlight or starlight. The contrast between pure dark and any light resets the circadian dip. Most people sit in the dark for 3 nights and wonder why their body wants to curl up and die at 4 in the morning. The body follows the sun inside your skull. Give it a fake dawn every hour. Number 4. The pressure point drill. Take your left hand. Find the fleshy webbing between your thumb and index finger. Pinch it hard with your right thumb and forefinger. Hard enough to feel a sharp, radiating ache. That is the Hegi point. Large intestine 4. Hold it for 10 seconds. The pain stimulus breaks through the adenosine fog via the reticular activating system, the brain's bouncer that filters sensory input and decides what is important enough to wake you up. You can also rub your sternum vigorously with your knuckles. Press your tongue hard against the roof of your mouth. Run your fingernails along your scalp. These sharp, novel stimuli punch through the monotony that the brain associates with sleep. Most people try to stay awake by staring into the dark and thinking hard thoughts. The brain ignores thoughts. It cannot ignore pain. Not enough to bruise, just enough to say, "We are under threat. Stay online." A pinch on the hand is a 5-minute booster shot of vigilance priced at $0. Number 5. Strategic starvation. This is the most critical mistake. You are hungry, so you eat a big meal. You instantly crash. A carbohydrate-heavy meal, rice, pasta, bread, sugar, triggers an insulin surge. Insulin pushes tryptophan into the brain, which gets converted into serotonin, then melatonin. A full stomach sends blood flow to the gut, stealing it from the brain. The crash is a biochemical ambush. You will eat small, protein-dense snacks at intervals. A bite of jerky, a single nut chewed thoroughly, a sliver of hard cheese. Protein provides tyrosine, the amino acid precursor to dopamine, which promotes alertness. Fat gives a slow, steady burn without spiking insulin. You will also drink water constantly, more than you think you need. Dehydration thickens the blood, reduces oxygen delivery, and floods the body with fatigue signals. Add a tiny pinch of salt to your water to maintain electrolyte balance. A dehydrated, bloated, sugar-crashing body is a vessel for sleep. A lightly fed, protein-sipping, salt-balanced body can fight the dark for another 8 hours. Number 6. The tactical brain loop. Your brain will fall asleep if it is bored. Boredom is the silent prelude to a sudden head bob. The mind needs a problem to solve. Count backwards from 1000 by 7, 1993, 986. It forces the prefrontal cortex to engage in working memory, suppressing the default mode network that drifts towards sleep. If you have a partner, talk, argue, play a memory game, name every street on your childhood block, recite a poem line by line. The social engagement system, the sound of a voice, even your own, keeps the auditory cortex lit. If you are alone, scan the environment, not passively. Actively narrate, left edge clear. Dark shadow, 20 yards out, unmoving. Right edge rustling, likely wind. The physical act of speaking aloud engages motor cortex, auditory feedback loops, and executive function simultaneously. It is the opposite of microsleep. It is a cognitive pacing rod that keeps the sentry awake at the gate. Most people stop speaking and retreat into their own head. The head is a pillow in disguise. The voice is a siren that keeps the darkness at bay. Here is the reality. The coffee industry will never sell you. The caffeine pill is a loan shark. It fronts you a few hours of jittery wakefulness and then repossesses your energy in a single crushing wave. But your body is designed for survival, not for comfort. It has triggers built into the deepest parts of its reptilian brain that will keep it conscious for 72 hours and beyond when conditions demand it. The cold shock on your neck, the air squats that pump blood uphill, the fake dawn every hour. The sharp pinch in the webbing of your hand, the slow drip of protein and salt, and the voice in the dark that refuses to stop narrating. 72 hours without sleep is a marathon. Your circadian rhythm will dip hardest between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. That is when the accidents happen, when the micro-sleep steals 3 seconds and the bad guys cover 40 yards. Set a countdown. Mark the time, know that every dip will pass and a natural cortisol wave will lift you out of it. Just before dawn, you are not fighting sleep, you are riding it, surfing the troughs until the sun finally breaches the horizon and you can hand the watch to someone else. Now, drop a comment and tell me this. When was the last time you had to stay awake for more than 24 hours? And what was the first thing that broke your will? Boredom, cold, or the silence? Write it down, then teach these 6 triggers to the person who will stand watch beside you. And in the next video, we are flipping the script entirely. How to fall asleep in 2 minutes flat, even in a combat zone, using a military technique that resets your brainstem and delivers unconsciousness on demand. I'll see you there.